I think the reason why she did not entertain me, so to speak, if you would say that, is because she had a college boyfriend.
What did you come up with?
Because marriages don't last.
I know, like, but do marriages really not last? That we should do a subject on to become one and hurt people. We have never really discussed our hurts.
Right.
Like, to actually say, like, you hurt me when you said that.
I think it is hard for men to express their feelings, and it's even harder or worse when the woman don't listen. Say, hey, you know what? I know that my situation ain't working. You could go and get fixed.
That ain't working. My mouth is still speaking.
Well, the mouth don't even work now. Till death do us part.
What is that?
Exactly what it says.
Hi. Welcome to our channel. It's like, no, I'll just play. Come on.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of All Strings Attached.
I don't know why you said it like that. So we really need to find a way to do the introduction because I don't want to come to the table and be like, hi, and welcome to All Strings Attached. No.
I thought that was good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Let me know if y'all think that
I think something just more like, welcome to the first episode of All Strings Attached.
That was the exact same thing.
I don't know. We got to figure it out. We can dance in.
No. What are you talking about?
Because that would be fun. That would be like capture attention. Seriously, like if a video came on and we were like, and I was like,
but
don't drop that, hey, don't drop that. Then people would be like,
No. This ain't Soul Train.
Okay, you're right, because it'll only catch some people, and then maybe some of the older people would be like, well, what's going on with that?
Right.
We need something that's going to catch everyone's attention.
Absolutely. So
okay.
We'll discuss that. We'll go over that. We'll throw some out each and every episode to see whichever one fits and whichever one sticks. But for the meantime, our first episode, we would like to basically give an intro of who the Stringfellows are.
Okay. Yep. We're doing introduction to marriage and what marriage means to us, right?
Right.
All right.
Right. So what marriage means to me is love, acceptance, guiding one another, having appreciation and value for one another, and just making sure that you're constantly trying to grow and improve not only yourself but with your spouse as well. So that's what marriage simply that's what marriage is to me.
What is marriage to me? Marriage is sacred to me. It is a union where two people become one, and I think that's very important because that's literally true. Like two people in their lives trying to come together as one, bringing all your angels and your demons, and I'm bringing all mine to you and you to me, and we're trying to figure it out, filter it out, and all of that good stuff. Mm-hmm. It's a partnership. It's a teammate. It's beautiful and it's ugly, and but I love marriage. I do.
Okay.
Sometimes I love marriage.
Let's take it to the beginning. We're gonna tell you guys how this all got started. Right? We met
once upon a time in middle school. He was chasing me because I was cool.
What? You frustrate me.
But wait, you were chasing me though.
I was not chasing you. That's a story that you and your little friends like to say. But
okay, so when we were in middle school. I happened to have a few boyfriends. I would just go with guys and break up with them. And he wanted to be one of them. I told him I would get to him, and I never got to him.
You told me you would get to me like a call on hold? Like, I get
it was weird. You know, kids are weird.
And I said, okay.
You said okay.
I waited at the locker for you?
No. You just said okay.
And that was it?
Yes, but you know that you used to do stupid things back then. Like people like, you go with me, and then you'll go with them for a day, you break up with them.
And you never got back to me?
No.
Like, and I never even asked you about that, getting back to me.
Again?
Yeah.
Yes, you did. You was up at Wayne State and everything.
No,
Yes,
I'm
you
talking about
did.
in middle school. In middle school.
I don't
So
remember, and I don't
let
want to
you just put
lie
me
on
hold
him.
for
You
the
let me put
whole
you on
middle
hold.
school.
You know what we should have did? We should have brought the pictures from middle school. Because then they would have been like, you definitely waited on her to get back to you.
That didn't happen. What
He
really
had
happened-
girlfriends and stuff.
What really happened was, I was on the step team, very popular,
Me too.
very cool, and everything like that. One of the, they called me Silky Smooth because my dance moves, I was all,
Okay, and I was
whatever.
Spice Girl,
And she
'cause I was
watching me,
hot.
eyeballing me, catching me. I caught her from the corner of my eye one day. You know what I'm saying? I believe I approached her.
Oh my
She,
God.
I'm not really
I don't know
sure.
if I'm going to be able to do this
But-
and lie at the same time. It's
Huh?
hard.
What happened?
It's hard to like do this and lie.
Who lied?
Because I told these people we was going to be transparent. We've been very much so fairy
Yeah,
tale.
you just lied and said that I was.
Okay, anyways.
I'm-
Middle school don't even matter because I didn't want them. High school don't matter because I didn't want them.
We wouldn't even go to the same high school.
I just
Okay? So, beat it.
I just
all right?
said none of that
So,
matters.
Middle school is where we met. Fast forward, past high school, we didn't go to the same high school. College, let's take it back for a second. In middle school, I think the reason why she did not entertain me, so to speak, if you would say that, is because she had a college boyfriend. And like he used to
Oh my
wait
God.
for her at the bus stop. And then, and I used to go to the bus stop.
I did
with
not
her.
have a college
So I didn't
boyfriend.
I think she was protecting me so I wouldn't get beat up or something. Cause
He
was
did.
grown.
No.
He was
He
grown.
was in high school. And he did.
Who was in high school? No. the
We're not
boyfriend?
giving our
He
names.
wasn't in high school. He was in college.
He was not. Why would he be in college if I was in middle school?
He was R. Kelly.
He was not. Dude,
Listen, all right,
he's
well,
joking.
listen.
He was in high
school, college. The man
Yeah.
had full beard, muscles, 2 cars, and a garage. My life.
Anyways, I'm not entertaining that subject.
And she had 2 little sisters who used to wait at that same exact bus stop and harass everybody that came off.
Yeah, I
the
had
bus.
a lot going
So,
on. I did.
It really wasn't suitable for me at that time anyway. It was too much.
God was
going on.
protecting you.
Yeah, God protected me. He made sure I didn't get in that situation.
That's true.
So we fast forward past all that. We didn't go to the same high school, whatever, whatnot. I think she called my sister up one day, you know what I'm saying, looking for me or whatnot. I forgot how she got back into the picture or whatever, but whatever, she came by. She had this little bitty skirt on,
But I definitely didn't call looking for you.
little cheek poke. She knew I was there.
Okay, so
Look,
this is where he's lying. I didn't call looking for him because actually at the time, I was actually trying to get him to talk to a friend. So
Nah, she called looking for me.
I was trying to get him to talk to
She
a
ain't never made
friend
mention of that friend.
that he used to talk to the friend. Yes, I did. You used to talk to the friend. We're not mentioning names, but he used to
You
talk
did
to the
make
friend.
mention of that friend
He-
when I spoke with you. You must have forgot about her. You must have forgot about her.
We talked about her because I
At some
asked if
point.
y'all
At
had
some
sex.
point down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was a whole big old thing too. Just FYI, it was a little messy in the beginning because Terry actually talked to one
A
of
lot of
my
people.
very close
I
friends,
talked to a lot of people.
and
Don't box me in.
so he really should have been off limits. But I truly did not know that they had sex. I promise you, I did not.
So who chased who? Who wait for who?
So, because if I knew that, I would not have done anything with him. But I didn't,
I told
and
you
then I
before.
did it. But I thought you were lying because she didn't say that. I thought he was lying for real.
So now I'm a liar.
So it was just a big old ball of mess. But luckily, my friend and I are still friends. But if I'm being transparent, I mean, it is what it is. We definitely had a big ball of mess. And then I actually, at one point, talked to one of his friends. Nothing happened. But yeah, it was just a big old ball of mess. But what was meant to be was meant to be. So anyway, yeah, that's how we met. We were older. We were in college,
Yeah,
actually.
this was like 21, 22, something like that.
Yeah.
Fast
And I was
forward.
living my fast life.
Yeah.
I wasn't really trying to settle down. I
Yeah.
was just trying to have relations.
Here comes another lie. She's going to say, I begged her to settle down.
I wasn't
Go
even
for it.
going to say that. I was just going to say I was
Was it?
just trying to have
You always
relations.
say that, though.
I mean, he did ask to settle down, but he didn't want to settle down. He just wanted to make me think we would settle down while he still played around. But we're going to get to that later.
We're going to get to
But-
that. We're going to get to that now. So,
Now,
then-
that's later.
then after we had a child, I already had one child already from another young lady that I went to middle school with. So apparently something about middle school.
Something about he came to everyone's university and made sure
and recruited. I did some recruiting, some scouting and recruiting, and I added some players to the team. Right?
I guess so.
I guess so. So then where we at? We at the kids now. Kids go. I think we're like 9 years in the relationship. She begged me to marry her for like 6 years. You did.
So what I will give to him is that at some point we were really heavily into church. Like Terry was a praise dancer, believe it or not. So we were like,
believe it or not.
Did you mime too?
Look, I did one day. It wasn't all.
You were really into church.
All right.
And so during that time, it was like, I was like on my face. Because I was on my face in the living room like, God, I just ask you to be married. I'm just trying to live my life the right way. So I did really want to live my life the right way.
You didn't
I wanted
ask to be married. You asked God for me to marry you.
You were my boyfriend at the time, so of course I wanted to be married.
And then you.
So I will say I can't lie and say that he didn't feel the pressure. I mean, I was doing it. I was fasting. I'm like, well, you ain't, I'm going 40 days, and we cannot have sex because,
These fasts kept popping up too. I felt like I went 365 days without sex. Just kept popping up.
You're gonna use that as your excuse as to why you was.
Oh, that definitely inspired some things, but then people around us was getting married, so it was like it was really getting really heated, and then like everybody was like, oh man, you gotta get married. All that type of stuff kind of forced the situation to happen. So one day, obviously, I made a proposal. We were moving into our new home, or one of our homes. Well, a rental property. And then I asked her, not really ready. Oh no, just was kind of like, because she threatened me to leave.
I did not threaten you. Oh yeah, I did threaten to leave. Yeah. Not because of marriage. That's not why I didn't. At that point in time, I didn't
leave because of marriage.
It wasn't marriage. Remember, at that point in time, I didn't even care to be married anymore. We were out of church at that time, actually.
We were out of church.
I know that's probably
Sunday
not good.
Was 2 days before, yeah.
No, we weren't attending church.
No, I think we were. I don't know.
No, we were not. I don't remember, but obviously we weren't as involved. Let me say that. It was just that our relationship had so much damage. Like, we had hurt each other so much that I was like, finally, like, you know what? I think that I'm ready to move on to another relationship, another life, another whatever. And so I don't even care to be married to you anymore. Like, I thought I was at my point, which has happened a few times, where I thought I was at my point of we are for real done. And I don't want to be with you anymore. And I think he felt that. I think that's why he asked.
Yeah. I guess you can say that I felt that maybe it was, but then I didn't really, because we kept progressing and we were just like moving to a house and everything like that. So like.
Yeah, but you knew something was up a little bit, because that's when the Texas thing, and you still asked me, even though you knew I flew.
There's a lot of cheating going on. Let's talk about cheating. Let me tell you.
No, let's not talk about cheating. That's not this episode. We definitely did.
Ourselves,
that's fine, because we definitely did have a lot that we overcame with cheating.
What, you want to wait till another episode?
I mean, I feel like that's a whole nother thing that. So here's the thing. This is why I say that. I feel like if we get into cheating, that would be like a whole episode, seriously. Versus if we do it with a couple that's here, it can, it'll have more substance, I guess. Ours would just be like, he cheated this time, she cheated this time, he cheated this time, she cheated this time. It would just be like.
I mean, we can't.
But overall, if we're telling our story, definitely a lot of back and forth cheating.
I cheated because you were making me.
Now we want to get into the excuses. I don't even think, I think people cheat because they want to cheat. So I'm going to say I cheated because I wanted to cheat. I'm not
I
even
think
about to
people
go
do
back and
cheat
forth.
because they want to cheat, but I do think that people cheat for reasons as well.
You're gonna always have a reason. You'll be cheating for a lifetime.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
I'm
That's
so
not true.
serious. You're going to always have. Nobody's perfect, so you're gonna
Yeah,
always
nobody's
have a
perfect,
reason.
but-
You're gonna be like, oh, I cheated because her booty was a little fatter than yours, and I like fat butts. Oh, I cheated, and it just kind of turned me on, like it was something about it, you know? Or, oh, I cheated because you don't cook. I cheated because you don't clean. I cheated because you don't got no money. I cheat. Like you're gonna
Or I
always
cheated
have a
because
reason.
you don't listen. Like right now.
He cheat right now. He got to
So,
go.
like,
I'm not even playing.
no, I'm saying
You
you're
stay
not
around too
listening.
because you don't know your worth all the way sometimes. Sometimes it's like, you know, you stay out of love. But when you keep staying, like I did, it's because you don't know your worth. I know my worth now.
We kept staying together. So we'll discuss the cheating thing later. Hopefully, when we get to that point, she'll actually listen to the reasons.
Go
that
ahead.
will
I'm sorry. Go
actually
ahead.
Help.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you done took the show and everything. No,
I know how it be when you get to talk about cheat. You get the steaming up,
I know, little legs
little,
moving,
get the boot,
all that.
get the vibrating.
Listen, we'll chill out. All right, so we'll move past all that. So then we get married or whatever the case is. Again, as we said, not really being ready, just kind of doing it because we felt like that was the thing to do. And I think we had conversations leading up to that kind of made it feel better, but still wasn't ready. So when you're not ready to do things and you force things to happen, then they still don't work out. They're probably more rockier now because your expectation of the individual or the other person is even higher now than it was before, prior to marriage. So I definitely expected when I became married that a lot of things would change within her, like all of the things that she said prior to marriage, like I don't cook because I ain't your wife, that's what wives do, or I don't do this because that's what wives supposed to do. So all these things that she was saving for marriage, I thought was gonna just come rolling out. And then it didn't roll out.
Right. He still wasn't right when we got
And they
married. He didn't deserve them.
So now it's a deserved. Maybe if they rolled out, it would have been something different. But they never rolled out. You know what I mean? So that's kind of something to have a discussion about too at some point. How the expectations of married or what should and should not change when you become married. But yeah, it was a lot of things that I'm like, dang man, you know, I thought sex was gonna be even more. I thought cooking and cleaning and all that. It's the same on this line, on this side, as it is on this other side. You hear me? So,
sex should feel better though. Like sex should be different.
I mean, that's up to the person or the people. Like it should because now you should be able to explore each other's body more and kind of be far more open than you were.
Explore each
before.
other's bodies. You love exploring bodies. Not bodies, my bodies.
I'm Christopher Columbus.
But I was going to go back to what you said. That was actually good because even though we knew we weren't ready, like he felt like he wasn't ready, I kind of felt like we weren't ready, we still had a conversation that night about it.
We did.
That was good. One thing about us, our communication is like top tier, I think. I think we got some. Sometimes?
Yeah. Sometimes it is.
I think we got some pretty dope communication. Now, if the sometimes it got to be on his part, because one thing about me, I'm going to talk.
Going to talk and force talks and everything else. So, but I think overall, yeah, I don't think that the communication is good sometimes in that moment. I think like after the smoke clears and everything and we talk, we never ever agree at that moment, but I think we both have understanding and we both take something from the conversation.
But I said that because we touched those complex conversations that people don't want to talk about. Like some people can't even sit and talk about things that happened in the past, hurts that they faced, or any of the type of things that we talk. Some people can't even believe that we have the conversations that we have. I just think that I think we really get into like everything.
I think we do. We dive. We deep dive. And we leave no stone unturned a lot of times. So that's good. So that's very important in relationships. You want to like have the lines of communication stay as open as possible, and that way at least put it out on the table so that not one person can say, well, they didn't know, they didn't have an understanding. They may not agree and they may not listen to you, but one thing you can do is clear your conscience and say, listen, I told you, and this is the time. Write it down too. Write it down when you told people something. Take a picture of something, because what happens is,
Oh my gosh.
what happens is they'll say you didn't say it, and they'll come up with this whole story or whatever. So if you need to write it down, just write down the date and time with which you said expressed yourself.
Anyway, so we got engaged, we got married. Lots happened even after the marriage. Did we cheat after the marriage?
Absolutely.
Did you cheat? Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Cheated through the whole process. Cheated on every test.
You did?
I did. Back to the story.
No, hold on. What part did you cheat? What you talking about?
What you mean?
Like, what am I
Cheated
forgetting?
in the beginning. Cheated in the middle. Cheated during.
What's the beginning? No, I know during the marriage. Oh, that's what you're talking about. I think you're talking about like the whole thing, whole marriage. Like, dang, wait a minute, I have to cut the camera. It's about to get real serious.
Hey, okay.
It is about to get real serious because I might know you did something, but
I ain't dropping exclusive cheating contacts. Right
I'm like,
now.
we about to be 7 years in. You talking about the whole thing?
No, I'm saying like during every process.
Oh, phase. Something has happened, or we have done something. Yeah,
absolutely. So
you still cheat?
no, not anymore. Gave it up. You catch me every time.
I do catch him every single time. My spirit feel it. Because I'm so connected to you.
The Lord don't work for my favor in that department.
He's not supposed to work in your favor.
I'm telling you, he taught me. He showed me. You gotta chill, son. She catch you every time.
I tell him that I'm about to catch him. I wake up. What I say?
I tell him about the catch.
How do I tell you?
You had a dream. You had a dream you were cheating with your mind. I wonder how that dream looks. Like she just see me rocking the boat. Like, what's going on? Like, sometimes, a lot of the time she'd be completely wrong. But I guess she have dreams so often. At some point, she hits the mark or whatever.
That is not the truth. Literally, when I have the dreams,
no,
something
you had like 7 of them dreams, and it ain't been right lately. So no, your dreams
had
not
like
right.
one lately.
No.
Anyway, so yes, that was like, and then we had so we had Nyla, so I'm a stepmom. We have Kaden, we have Tariq, and we have a dog.
Tariq is the last of the addition to the family.
Tariq is the last of the addition. He was the saving grace of the marriage, and that was when something happened. We gotta save that story for y'all. Something happened, and I thought I was leaving in too. I set the kids down and everything. And I was pregnant.
He didn't save the grace though. That was.
I feel like he was. I feel like for me, he was the reason that I stayed.
Oh, okay.
And I also feel like he was the challenge to the marriage too, though.
Oh, the kids are that the kids can make and or break a marriage or a relationship altogether.
Yeah.
For me, they helped me stay in every scenario because I didn't have both parents, so I never wanted my children to have that experience where they had to not be in the home with both parents. My daughter, luckily, she was a baby, but luckily she has had 2 households with 2 parents and both of them for the most part. But I always made sure that it wasn't much of a difference in that area because it's very important to have both your parents because you need a mom and you need a dad for both a boy and a girl because the mother will be harder on the girl, the father will be more softer, more compassionate to the girl, and vice versa with the boy. And you kind of need that balance. Your children need that balance. You can't have one way or the other. So like me not having a father or him always lying to me and telling me he'll be back and never to come back for like years on end, it was like devastating to me. So for me, it was very important for me to be the best father and kind of like keep the household together. So that saved the marriage in so many different ways
Yeah,
to
definitely.
me. 'Cause it was
I think
like,
so.
I could deal with that. I can deal with her for them, right?
But I think we played a role too. Like we talk about the cheating and the things that we went through because one, we were young, two, we didn't see marriage. So it's not like we had examples of marriage. Like we weren't in households with married individuals. So we didn't have examples. We had our own, we were young, trying to live life, trying to bring it all together. You kind of hear in a community or just in general, like, these men aren't loyal or these women aren't loyal and, not to get caught up on one person or whatever. So, yes, we had our issues. But I also think we held it together because I think we also recognized, like, okay, you kind of controlling because you were forced to take care of your sisters. You were forced to do this or do that. All right, you know what? You lack affection because you weren't shown affection. You don't know what that looks like. And so I'm going to give you the credit more so because he would always be the one that would take it back to the past or just kind of talk about it. Again, I think communication for us. So I think as much as we have the things that we went through, we truly had a friendship or have a friendship. We laugh. We really have like some good times too. We play, we sit down with our kids and talk to our kids. We have family meetings. We do a lot of stuff because I know when this airs in the beginning, it sounds like, well, dang, but it's a lot of things too that glued us together. I used to think it was solely the kids, but I do think that it's more than the kids that glued us together. It's that balance, it's our communication, and just like understanding the deeper aspects of things.
I think the kids were great patching points.
Yeah.
So when it got really, really tight and really, really tough, it was like you can look at the kids, and especially like in the very beginning, in the earlier ages, and we used to just kind of like ask my son, like who would he want to live with or whatever the case is, and he'll cry or and say neither or pick both or whatever the case is. Like those type of things you can't like take for granted or just kind of ignore. So it's like in reality, if we did split, they would tear him apart and like who knows what could happen or transpire after that. So I mean, they are good tools, but then they could ruin a relationship or a marriage too if you both don't be on the same page with raising them.
If you stay and you're toxic.
You kind of like, or you toxic in the marriage or relationship. And that's all they see is arguing and fighting and fussing and fighting and arguing and bickering all day. Then that could create a problem with your child because now you're creating that within your child, and he or she is gonna grow up and be that same way with their spouse, and now it's a chain of domestic people and stuff like that, or just not being happy around them. You know what I mean? We try to be happy around our kids. We try to be fun, but we try to be real too.
Yeah, for sure.
They know some stuff that I did. They know everything because
Not them.
they know about just about.
Did you just look at me?
Huh?
They don't know everything.
Some people talk
like
a lot.
we have
What we talk about? She will have
when you
family
said-
meetings when things go down. And
No,
stuff
but
like.
when you just said about fighting, we actually used to fight.
Fight.
And we used to
Fight.
argue. But our kids don't know anything about it. Maybe like a story or two. So we did kind of save them from that.
Yeah, we fought at cars. We fought when they were sleeping, not around.
We did used to fight.
Like real fights.
And then I'm just glad we both came to.
Nah, I came to.
No, I told you I had that
listen,
dream. That dream was so vivid. When I told you I had a dream that I stabbed you up and it was so vivid. This is not funny. And we are not like saying that this is okay. We know this is not okay. Just FYI, it's been probably like over 10 years. How long has it been?
Very long time.
Right. So just an FYI, this is like years ago. We won't even argue like I get quiet or he don't really get quiet, but I get quiet in front of the kids if it's an argument. But baby, them texts be going, ooh, we be text arguing. But
Listen, we don't even text argue. I'm gonna say my piece, and she gonna keep going. And I'm gonna say probably one or two more things, and then I'm letting it go. But she'll send them boys. Her little fingers be all you see is a light in the back of her face, and she just.
When the kids here, you can't do all that, and I be just like, oh, I got so much to say, but
she be having
can't say
so
it.
much to say, but.
But anyway, yes. So that was years ago.
Right. Back to the story. So now we're married. We're in it. We're in the thick of things. Now we're just in the part of growing. We've grown past those things. We've elevated past the like we told you, the bickering and the arguing. We have opened up communication a whole lot more now. Communication wasn't always as good because we came from two different backgrounds. Like to me, she wants to communicate about every single thing. I want to just get stuff done or just do it. We'll talk about it at some point. So we kind of like still kind of struggle with that, but it's way better. So now we just growing. We ownership to things, and like we kind of vibe. We be vibing, bro. We be vibing. So it ain't all good still. Like I think every argument, I feel like I need a divorce. Every argument.
You still feel like that?
I feel like it.
That's one thing.
It's stressful.
Okay, let me see. What do I really feel about that? Because I think I said something to you about that before.
You said
like to me, for you to get into arguments and you to feel like you need a divorce, it's like, do you really want to be in a marriage? Are you really happy? Or are you settling? You should go talk to a therapist and see. But like seriously, because arguments don't just make me want to leave. Like he gets on my nerves sometimes. And sometimes I do think I'm at my point where I'm like, you know what? You about to see, because I'm about to get an apartment. But but I don't feel like that all the time. Sometimes an argument is simply just an argument.
The smaller arguments, no. Sometimes the argument where I feel like you're not listening or I don't feel valued.
It's not a small argument with him because it could be small. You could start small and then it just go to something like one time we argued. He kept feeding the baby fries and I asked him to not feed the baby fries. So I was in the kitchen one day and I was like, the baby has to eat more than fries. Ooh-wee.
See, I don't remember the whole context.
He in there, he's steady going and mad, just going. Like, I just got quiet. I'm not understanding. I'm not about to argue with you about the baby need to eat more of the fries. Like, what are you mad about?
I think it's way
but
more
for him,
to
it'd be like, because you telling me what to do. You ain't been here all day, but you want to run stuff. You want to control. You want, come on. We got the same goal. We want to make sure the baby is healthy. You just keep feeding him fries. He can't eat fries all day. Not granted, it does not take away that I could meal prep. I could have some stuff for the baby to have, or, I could do something other than say something, which is his thing.
Have mercy.
Like, did you really have to go all the way up there with it?
See, but it don't be, it wasn't that it was the fries, I'm sure. It was the everything prior to
It was that I said it.
The fries just tipped the scale. It's like, all right, now, god dang it. You could be doing this, that, and too, but you want to keep coming in with checklists and telling me, but so I think you do that all the time. You'll take the last thing and make it like that's the totality of the frustration, where it's like, no, that's the last part. That's the very last straw that you put on there that you couldn't afford to put on there. You should have put that thing in your pocket and not put it on my back. Now my back is broken, and you gotta have what I'm putting.
You always think somebody's supposed to put something in their pocket. If
But
it
you
was up
don't
to you,
never put it
my
in your
pocket
pocket.
would be full.
But your pocket ain't full. It's
I don't
empty.
like stuff in
Flat.
my pocket.
Pocket
Yes.
so flat.
I don't like nothing poking me in my butt. Yeah.
So, anywho, so that's what it is. So the whole fry thing was more so of you constantly every day saying what can be done, but you fail to doing it or replacing it with what you feel should be done. So that's where the issue comes at quite often. So I feel like the reason I feel on some arguments, the bigger arguments, is like, all right, bro, I'm out of here. Forget it. Because you feel like I feel like you ain't listening. I feel like I'm underappreciated, undervalued, or things of that nature where it's like.
So what would you like to see? Would you like for me to just be quiet? Like, seriously,
A lot
during
of
an
times.
argument, you think you are supposed to just voice what you feel,
Nope.
and then I should just be quiet? Or like, what is like an ideal
I feel
disagreement
like I
to
should
you?
voice what I feel,
And I should say, I understand, honey.
and you should have understanding to it.
Okay.
Right.
So would it help if I said, I understand, honey? Now let me tell you how I feel.
That's fine.
So you just want to hear, I
that's
understand.
A step. No.
Okay,
No.
give me your idea.
That's a step to it. Yes, I do want you to say, you understand, because now I feel like you were listening. That you've taken what I've put out on the table and not just disregard it. Like, okay, go right into all the stuff that you'd have pulled from the 70s and the 80s, and you threw it on the table. It's like, all right, did you hear what I said or no? So you saying yes, I understand is definitely a start, right? It's a start to understanding. So it's like, okay, I do understand you, and I will try to work on this, that, and the third. I will try to be better in these areas. But however, if you just got a however, everything don't need a however, but you're gonna always have a however.
Yeah, I hear this,
But if
right?
You gotta have your
Okay.
however.
So
if
I'm
you
going to
gotta
say,
get your
I
however.
understand. I see where you're coming from. But however, if he said he will be understanding to
Okay,
that, and if he's
listen.
not, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to record it.
Listen, if you have, I'm not gonna. If you always got a however, I'm gonna be frustrated. But if sometimes you have a however, then that's okay. But if you always got a rebuttal or a however, or you want to throw some extra sauce in the mix, then I'm gonna be frustrated because I'm gonna feel like you're not really listening. You're just gonna say, "I understand."
I think
just
I've
so I won't
learned,
be upset.
and I'm going to try to implement it, like just listening to someone when they have an issue. So then you listen, like you said, I understand, whatever. I'm not saying I can do this right now. I'm saying I'm going to try. And then you let them have their problem at that moment, and then you come back later with your issue or whatever. But I went to dinner.
You gotta get your issue off.
Yeah, I'm sorry. If I feel something, I have to say what I feel.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
like
feel
that
it
at
when-
work, at church, at home, at whatever. Like, I don't like to keep what I feel inside. It actually bothers me to keep what I feel
it's fine
inside.
to express yourself, but it's a coincidence that your expression always.
It's not a
comes-
coincidence. It's like, hold on. I know you don't have the nerve after I've been holding this in for about 2-3 weeks.
Exactly.
So then you be ready.
But you don't hold things in, so I'm not sure where you get this whole thing in.
Okay, so here's the thing.
So,
I just said it bothers me when I don't express myself. But I still will have something inside sometimes. It's like, because he say I have to express myself about everything. So there still will be some things inside.
right. I guess.
Just because you're trying to not say it. So it'd be like,
Right.
you ain't been perfect for these 2-3 weeks. I held this in because, but now
Yeah, but that-
it wasn't that big to me to say to you. But now since you want to make it an issue, since you got an issue with a minute thing, I got an issue too.
But how does that help anything?
I know, it doesn't.
That
I'm just
don't
saying.
help anything. That doesn't resolve anything.
I am not
But that
saying,
now-
oh, we
that's-
forgot to give our disclaimer that we are not professional therapists. We are not in any way saying that our way is the way. We are not saying this is what you should do. This is just what works for us. And so, again, it doesn't make it right. I'm just saying that's just what it is. I'm not saying it don't need work.
It doesn't work at all. It just makes things way worse. You're just adding shit to shit, right? Instead
I don't
of
know if
trying
you
to
could say
clean it.
cuss words.
It's
I
our-
have to
it's
edit
our
that out.
show.
It doesn't matter.
You're
We
just
don't
adding-
own YouTube. We
you're
don't
adding
own nothing.
To
Oh, you're gonna beep.
I'm
Got it.
not keeping it. It's going. So anywho, listen.
Then they could take it down.
All right. So now, where we at? I forgot where we was at. You cut me off. She gonna cut me off a lot during this time.
And he gonna talk a lot the whole time. You're gonna be like, dang, what is she, the cheerleader? Cause he talk a
The
lot.
inaccuracy in the things that you say. So that's our story in a nutshell. We're gonna continue to give you guys more bits and pieces and parts of us, and we're gonna be as open as possible, and we're gonna be as transparent as possible. We're gonna let you in, and we're gonna try to help those who want to be helped, and like not really trying to help. We just want to have conversation.
Inspire.
We want to put it out. We want
encourage through transparency.
Yep. Yeah, we're not telling you that people that they gotta be married. We're not telling people that marriage is the best thing. We're not telling people that marriage is the worst thing. We're telling people that marriage is work. But anything and everything you want to have in life, you have to work towards it. You gotta work hard and you gotta be consistent. And that's just pretty much it to it. So, with that being said,
if you have anything that you would like to hear us talk about, please do not forget to put it in the comments. Also, don't forget we do have the email address that you can email if you want to be a part of the show, or again, if you have a topic that you would like for us to discuss, and that is allstringsattached2, @gmail.com. Definitely would appreciate if you would give us some topics. If you have some questions about this episode that you would like for us to answer, maybe I cut Terry off so he didn't get to finish and you would like to hear more, just let us know as well. Put it in the comments or send it to the Gmail.
Just kind of just keep putting it everywhere. Just keep going,
Yeah.
Make us famous.
Even if y'all don't like
I wanna be
something,
famous,
say
but
it.
just-
You know, drama spreads too, so it's okay.
We're gonna
Even
have
if-
some drama.
Yeah.
We have some drama.
So I do have a question before we go. With this episode or topic, is there any questions that you have for me or that you were hoping to get out of it or that you wanted to talk about? Like, do you have anything for me when you thought of the topic, introduction of us and what does marriage mean to us and all of that? Or no, did we pretty much discuss it all?
Did you learn anything today?
I did, and I'm going to tell you off the camera. It's like, no,
Okay.
I didn't. I'm just joking.
Okay.
I did learn something today.
Okay, good.
You wanna know what I
Good
learned
to-
today?
Obviously.
Oh, okay. So what I learned today is that we've grown tremendously, although I knew that. It's very nice to be able to sit here and have this conversation, and that I can put more work into things that I know I should be doing, but that's hard. Like how we said, like just listening more. When a conversation does come up, whether it's an argument or a debate, it's really a debate that leads to an argument or a disagreement that leads to an argument. It doesn't have to go that way. I can give a little more effort.
All right. I hope you guys are listening to that. We'll see if that actually works down the line. Did you have anything to ask me?
Yeah, that same question. I wonder if they can hear our baby cry. But go ahead.
Listen, what I learned is that you're finally coming to realization that I didn't stalk you in middle school. That you guys fabricated that whole story. And I also learned that in order to become your best, you have to be your best.
I have one more question.
You don't get two questions.
Because that wasn't really my question. The
be a
baby
question.
started crying and kind of threw me off. So I'm like, yeah, that question. But it was like, that wasn't transparent. That was fake. Sorry. So
So why do I gotta ask her another question?
Because I have a real question. Do you not want to answer it?
Go for it.
So sometimes when you talk back on like things that you've been through, or when you go over like where you are, sometimes it can make you think like, oh my goodness, or whatever. So when you talk about like our whole relationship, oh my gosh, there's been cheating, there's been fighting, there's been like hurt, but there's been building, there's been love, there's been praying, there's been crying, there's been a lot of things, joys, laughing. What do you feel? Like do you feel like, what are your feelings when you go over it? Do you have a joyful feeling in the end? Or in the end, are you like, man, then we probably should really go to therapy?
It took so long for you to describe and explain that question. I don't
So?
even remember what you asked. I feel
You know, like sometimes you talk about something and it makes you feel a way. So when you talk about...
It varies from conversation, dialogue. Sometimes I walk away and I feel like, okay, cool. But then sometimes if we tell stories or whatever, it's like, maybe she run run that back or something, or I don't know. It just depends on the scenario. But we'll talk about that later more. So
Maybe she run that back.
Don't worry about it. Done.
Made no sense to me.